Hello everyone, the Abundance Oracle here. Might be a little bit windy, not too windy, but I will show you, if you remember, when I took you to the big shell pot. Remember that? Because this is where everybody comes clamming, and it's to dump their extra shells so they don't have to bring them home and throw the smelly stuff into their trash at home. Isn't that good? And remember, we were here, I showed you the landing where you come, and those of you that have smaller boats, you can back your car up and dump them in right here, the landing. We don't have a asphalt one, which is nice. I'm glad we don't, because as the ocean sort of eats away every year a little bit at the asphalt, you get some of it going into the ocean. We don't do that, so it's just nice to have. Okay, let me put you on this side so you can see the boats. You don't want to see my mug. I'll just walk down here a little bit. What do you think? Great little private little place, right? Oh gosh, what a great day. The worst thing about these YouTubes is that you can't convey the smell, the good ocean smell. Oh my gosh. It's like salty, and this is nice. It's not too hot out today. There are a little bit of crabs here that are trying to sneak back in the sand. Anyway, so I wanted to say hello, good morning. It's a wonderful day on Cape Cod here, with the boats being out. Makes me miss my boat. But when the kids were small, I just couldn't do everything all at once. You can't have two kids in a boat and worry about their safety and drive at the same time. So my ex-husband's not well, so that ended that. It was hard to get rid of the boat at the time. So today, let's talk a little bit about living with the unknown future. I think for a lot of people lately, it's been very stressful because a lot is unknown, and you hear that the stock market's doing well, gold's doing well, other places are doing well. Well, then how come there's a large percentage of the population that's being so stressed out and having difficulty at the grocery store? They're having a difficulty. They probably have credit cards, paying their credit cards, paying interest. The interest now is absolutely insane on credit cards. I know some of you even still have car loans. You haven't paid off the car loans very quickly. So going into a future where it's unknown how the economy is going to be is very stressful, even if you have a little bit of leftover paycheck at the end of your month. So what I'm going to suggest, because I think if you build up as much reserves as you can while you have a possibility and are still working, it will give you peace of mind. So if you want peace of mind, you're going to have to think of how can you cut some of your expenses. It's a good question. How can you cut some of your expenses? With food, you can buy bulk. Even if it'll be difficult for you, let's say you're a single mom and it's going to be difficult for you to use up all that. Get together with another single mom, or two single moms, or single dad. You can cut out, buy a bigger piece of meat, chop it in 3. Okay, now with one of my friends that visited recently, we came up with a little bit of a plan on how, with very little money, she can rent out part of her house that she's not really using a lot. It's sort of a porch, as she described it, with an old kitchen cabinetry still in it. And I said, well, given it has access, separate little access, why can't you turn that into a little apartment with a kitchenette even? So somebody else that maybe needs a little bit of saving money would be willing to downsize themselves in order to save their money and start building up to bigger, better things. And she thought that was interesting. So if you're really committed to trying to save money, you can also take and rent out one of your bedrooms. I have a girlfriend who is also in Texas who just doesn't want to give up her privacy. So she is willing to give up the $600, $500, $600 she'd make by renting out. I'm going to just get back in the car here. It's easier for me to talk and focus on things. But she'd rather have $500 or $600 less every month than rent out a bedroom. She actually has 2 bedrooms she could rent out. So maybe it'd be an extra $1,000 a month. So let's just say you made a deal with yourself. Okay, self, we're going to take and make some money, and I'm going to do it for 1 year. I'm going to make it work. Well, I suggest you do, if you're going to do a lease, you do a month-to-month lease, good for guaranteed pricing for 1 year. So that means if there's a problem, your tenants can give you 30-day notice, and if you find it to be a real problem, you can give them 30-day notice. And if there are people that are going to be renting one of your rooms that is already furnished, they would be basically bringing clothes. So to leave would not be as challenging. Now, what I've noticed recently, only because people, I'm not as good at YouTube videos as sitting down with someone and finding out the details of their life to be able to say, okay, here, try this, here, try that, do this. Nope, don't invest that way. It's going to be risky. You just told me you wanted to avoid risk. It's hard for me to do videos that can help everybody. So I'm just going to give you some of the ideas that I do. And some of the things you may not realize is your retirement account, if it's with a company that you're working for, in all likelihood, you have a choice of a couple different 401k, plans within your 401k or an IRA. And usually it's either a mutual fund or like Vanguard still has, they have ETFs, which is new, modernized. And if you are counting on that money for your However, not being in something that appreciates or brings around cash flow for you on a monthly basis, which most of this stuff should not bring you any cash flow because you're talking about retirement accounts. But you could also do, if you wanted to do investment instead. So you have no control over those things. Now, the government is basically broke. We're the government. There's a lot of people inside our population that's struggling, and the government struggling. So you want to buy in a time of inflation and high turmoil, which we have now. I don't know if the top of the pyramid's trying to create World War III or not. It just seems like there's a lot of instigating going on behind the scenes. You want to make sure, I want to make sure this is not investment advice, this is for entertainment only. And this is just what I do with my money. And the reason I do this is because in times of inflation, hard assets such as real estate, income producing real estate, commercial real estate, and your residential real estate, but less so, only because you have so many expenses that you can't write off when it's your personal real estate. Whereas if you had a roommate, let's say you split the house 50-50, that means that 50% of your gas, electric, repairs, maintenance, trash cans, all that is you're able to take off as a deduction, a tax deduction off your taxes. Saves you 50%. You get more. Just crazy. I live in a house now where I have 8 bedrooms between my place and my guest cottage. I have 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. Everybody has their bedroom and their bathroom. And we share the houses.